Hey, it's Netta, and I'm so excited to tell you that my brand new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, is available now on Amazon. If you're struggling with sugar cravings and emotional eating, and you want step-by-step guidance to know exactly what to do so that you can feel confident around food again, go buy my book. Look for Break Free from Sugar Cravings on Amazon in most countries. Welcome to the Life After Sugar podcast. The podcast that's not just about sugar, but about your relationship with it and also with food and especially with yourself. So if you want to discover your life after sugar and hear inspiring stories from all kinds of people who also cut out sugar in their way, at their pace, for their own reasons, this is the podcast for you. Because when you take away the sugar, you can finally discover the real sweetness in your life. I'm your host, Netta Gorman. And today I want to talk to you about my brand new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, why I wrote it, what's in the book, and how the book can help you stop emotional eating without willpower or diets and finally feel in control around food. I'll tell you all about how this book can help you in just a minute. But first, I just wanted to tell you that if you're looking for some free resources, then I have plenty for you. First, download my 5 tips to get rid of cravings. And those 5 tips may not be what you think they are. So go to sugarcravingsfree.com and download your 5 tips today. And while you're at sugarcravingsfree.com, why not take the Cravings Quiz? I created this Cravings Quiz specifically to help you start thinking more deeply about what triggers your cravings. And when you do this quiz, you'll get your personalized score as well as my practical tips to help you take your first step to get rid of cravings. Those free resources are at sugarcravingsfree.com. And on social media, come check out the Life After Sugar Facebook page and subscribe to the Life After Sugar YouTube channel, as well as my Instagram account at My Life After Sugar, which is where you'll get all kinds of inspiration so that you can see that it's perfectly possible to live a happy and active life even if you don't eat sugar. All right, so let me tell you how my new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, can help you with your sugar cravings. Because I myself used to suffer from sugar cravings, and in fact, I often say that all my life I was the world's #1 sweet tooth, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. In fact, I was proud of it. It was part of my identity, and people used to make desserts and sweet treats just for me. I considered myself normal. I mean, doesn't everyone love chocolate? And so I never really thought I had a problem until my mid-40s, when my body and my health issues kind of backed me into a corner and gave me no other choice than to make a change. And in the book, you can read about what my health issues were and how I resisted making any kind of change, and then how I got over myself, and what made me realize that if I didn't change something, my health issues would just get worse and worse. And I think that this realization that nothing changes if nothing changes is the first step in getting rid of sugar cravings, because we can't change what we don't recognize. And actually, this is one of the main reasons why I wrote this book, because it's actually based on my 5-step program, the Freedom from Cravings Formula. And the very first step in the program is becoming more aware, not just that we have a problem with sugar cravings, but that there's something going on underneath, whether it's what's triggering the cravings themselves or whether it's in our own habits and behaviors and approach to food and sugar that we need to address. And this is why I start the book with stories of women who've gone through my program and who've changed not just what they eat, but how they think and how they relate to food and sugar and to themselves. Like Noreen, for example, because when Noreen first got in touch with me, she felt completely out of control around sugar, and she was tired of the ups and downs and feeling good one day and frustrated the next when the cravings took over, and she described this as living in a discomfort zone. Her life was making Noreen feel absolutely exhausted, and she was looking after everybody else, but she didn't have much energy left over for herself. So for Noreen, sugar felt like both a comfort and a trap. She needed it, but it also kept her stuck. And as Noreen went through the Freedom from Cravings Formula program, what surprised her the most was how much of her dependency on sugar was about more than food. It went much deeper. Noreen discovered that it was about her self-worth, her self-trust, and believing that she was worthy of the changes that she was making. And for Noreen, her big shift happened when she started making gentle, doable changes and treating herself with kindness instead of criticism. And she discovered that she didn't have to be perfect to feel better. She just had to keep going. And this is exactly why I wrote this book for you. Because you deserve to be guided through the steps, just like Noreen did in the program, so that you know exactly what to do to get out of your discomfort zone. And if you can't invest in the program and in my personalized guidance, this is why I wrote the book, because this book is more of a practical guide than a food list or a bunch of recipes. You can get those anywhere. But what I want to give you is step-by-step guidance in this book so that you can go deeper than just changing what you eat. And so that you can get to the place that Noreen got to, because as I quote her in the book, she says, "I have freedom, energy, joy, and a love of life. I know I'm worth it." Noreen's no longer stuck in that old pattern of needing sugar for comfort, and it shows in her confidence and in her smile. And Noreen's story is proof that comfort and freedom can be possible for you if you let yourself be guided to take one small, kind step at a time. And those steps are the exact ones that you'll find in my new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings. I want to take a quick break to say that if this is your first time here, then welcome and thank you for listening to this podcast. And whether you're new or a regular and you haven't yet rated or reviewed this podcast, could I ask you to scroll down and tap on the stars to rate this podcast and also to write a short review to let me know how this podcast is helping you in your life after sugar. I love reading your reviews, and when you rate and review this podcast, not only does it encourage me to continue making new episodes, but it also helps to share this podcast and have more people see it so that we can help more people feel better and lose weight with less sugar. So again, thank you for rating and reviewing this podcast and for spreading the word about sugar. So this week I'm talking to you about my brand new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, which is available on Amazon in pretty much every country, and why I wrote it and what's in it. So yes, in the book, you'll find my own personal story, because I want you to know that I too am human and I also struggled with sugar cravings. And just because I've been living sugar-free for almost 11 years, that doesn't mean that I've got it all figured out or that I myself don't struggle sometimes. I mean, I'm only human, and so are you, right? And I created my 12-week program, the Freedom from Cravings Formula, which is what this book is based on, as a way to give personalized guidance and support, and especially accountability, to women who want to stop emotional eating and get rid of their sugar cravings, but who need that guidance, because it's all very well knowing what to do, it's doing it and implementing that knowledge that's often the challenge. But of course, not everybody can invest in personalized one-on-one coaching with me. So I decided to write this book and to base it on the 5 steps in my program, with some of the guidance and even the assignments that I give in the program, so that this book can be a practical guide for you to know what to do and how to start changing your relationship with food and sugar, rather than just a cookbook, a recipe book, or a food list, which you can get pretty much anywhere. But I do give these things in the book as gifts to you when you read it, or even when you listen to it in audiobook format. In fact, in each chapter, with each of the 5 steps, you get a free gift. For example, the first free gift you can get when you read this book, where we look at why you want to stop emotional eating and get rid of sugar cravings, you'll get a free gift to help you go deeper and to discover my why and other people's why, so that you can get inspired. And another free gift that you'll get when you read the book is my list of whole foods that you can download and take with you to the grocery store. You'll also get my sugar-free breakfast recipes, and some of those recipes may surprise you. In step 2, you'll be able to watch a video about the connection between your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, so that you can start creating new habits. Because let's face it, reaching out for sugary foods is often a very long-standing, ingrained habit that you may not even be aware of. And so in the book, you'll be able to get strategies to change this habit. Another free gift that you'll get when you read this book is a special note sheet that I prepared for you about meeting your emotional needs in other ways than with food and sugar. Because we often feel like there's no other option for when we're feeling emotional or tired or angry or bored than using food for comfort. And actually what I found through working with the ladies in my program is that this feeling of helplessness and powerlessness has more to do with our perception that there's no other option than with the actual lack of options. So I'm here to give you other options for dealing with your emotions and for learning coping skills, other options that don't include sugar. And in the book, you'll also get a cheat sheet to help you know what to say to others when you feel uncomfortable in social situations, or when you feel judged or under social pressure to consume sugar because, well, everyone else is doing it and you don't want to feel like the odd one out. And finally, in step 5, where I talk about gut health and the connection between gut health and cravings, I'll give you my special sauerkraut recipe so that you can learn how to make it yourself. So I want to make it clear that this book is not an autobiography. It's not just about my story. It's not just about me. It's way more about you. And it's way more a practical guide for you to break free from sugar cravings than some kind of theoretical academic book about how bad sugar is. I mean, there's plenty of those out there already. So I want to leave you today with a short extract from one of my conversations with a participant in the Freedom from Cravings Formula program, Judy, who talks about her own experience with respect to the program and the book. Sometimes the smallest things can take the longest time, and it's not always like there's not always a correlation between what you do and how much time it takes.
Yeah.
And it's often the case in life as well, I think.
Well, you said more time would be on reflection, and that's what I'm finding. Yeah, it's just, but since I decided that I'm an abstainer, I'm on day 4 with no sugar. And I would say I've basically been like I said, I would just do the obvious, like the cakes and the cookies and that.
Yeah.
But then my diet always was basically whole foods, other than all those treats that I added in there. I have stopped. Why, now that I say that,
Mhm.
you know, so I'm trying to eat more clean. And even though I said I definitely will state, well, my goal is to be free to abstain from those cakes and cookies and ice cream and the very, very
Right.
obvious. The miracle to me is once I decided I'm abstaining, I haven't been craving. Last night, before I went to bed, I did open the fridge door and I thought, you're not really hungry. Like, what? This is just a habit of looking for something. But of course, there's nothing here right now, to binge on and with the old foods. But before I would just give in, and that's interesting. I've been focusing a lot on what sugar does to my body, but when I started this journey, I just wanted to get away from binge eating. I didn't realize it's fairly intense. And and I listened to another podcast, and you're writing a book, and it's great, but I don't think I could do this alone with a book. This accountability is there's no, because I have books, not to downplay your book or anything, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just so grateful that I invested in this, and I'm getting on track. Yeah.
Great to hear that. Great to hear that. And I might, with your permission, quote you on a future podcast of mine where I talk about my book.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because basically I wrote my book as like the book version of this program, but you can see that it's all right to have all the info. Great, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
but that's not where the sticking point is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you nailed it for why I wrote this book, which is for those that can do it on their own, and between you and me, there's not that many of them. Go ahead. You've
Go
got all
ahead.
the resources.
Yeah.
Those that can't, well, you'll have the book as a starting point, and if you want to join the program, also go ahead.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you do want to buy the book, head on over to Amazon in your country and search for it by name, Break Free from Sugar Cravings. And you can buy it in ebook format, paperback, and audiobook format. And in all due modesty, I think this book will give you an excellent start to stop emotional eating and get rid of cravings without willpower or diets, so that you can finally feel in control around food. And if after reading the book you feel that you do need some personalized guidance and accountability, then join the Freedom from Cravings Formula program. You can get more information on sugarcravingsfree.com, and that's where you can also book a free one-on-one call with me so that we can see if the program is a good fit for you. So go to sugarcravingsfree.com, or you'll find the link to book a free video chat with me with this episode in the show notes. That's it for this week. Keep in touch and see you soon for another episode.